Hello guys, welcome to another video, another recap for the daily teachings and trade recaps, guys. Hope everybody had a good day. This morning was very tough and it was a little choppy, and it was expected, right? I've been talking about whenever we have a big run there can be a chop, but so we talk about the choppiness, and then but today something to learn was the trend out of the chop, right? So we'll talk about the morning losers on the chop, and then we stayed away, and then the when how the trend came out of the chop. So that's something that I showed live. I was teaching it live, and then I will also cover it in today's video. Apart from that, midday was good. There were some setups that came up middle of the day. News plays were much better today than the market was kind of tough in the morning for the morning traders, but the news plays, definitely there were a lot of movers. MELI, CVNA, SMMT, SIG, NetGear, MRNA. So there were definitely a lot of news movers, but there were less. There was a difficulty with the even though Tesla NVDA were trades were good. We will discuss that. So overall mornings were tough. By the end of the day, we were able to get by get by a decent day. So let's start the recap. Before I do that, just a quick introduction to anybody who's new to my Twitter, anybody who's new to my YouTube, or you are new to my community. All these recaps and all these trades and teachings are from the any trades that we discuss in the community, or I share it on Twitter. Like I share a lot of my swing trades on Twitter, and a lot of the ideas that I share on the SPY QQQ on Twitter, or anything I share with you guys in my previous YouTube videos. So it's all from there, because we trade a repeatable system. Most of it is from the community, which my repeatable system, thousands of traders across the world use day in, day out to trade consistently. That's what they do. And we have repeatable setups. That's the difference between us and any other community or any other trading service you will go, any alert signal services, which we are not. But we have a fixed game plan. There's special strategies and system and setups that I have built, that I provide my community, so that we can find profitable trades every day, make money and lose less and win more, right? Whether it's a swing trade, day trade, or investment, whatever we do, that's how we do it, right? So I will cover some swings as well today. So what you see is the game plan for today. You can see that was the game plan for today. In addition to the game plan, I also have what I call as my day 2, day 3 setup. First Solar was the #1 day 2, day 3 setup. I did a webinar on teaching people how to trade this. Zscaler was another mover. Not all of them will move, not all of them will trigger. You just need to know how to trade those and see what works for you, right? A lot of them were working. SMMT was a day 2 mover. That was a solid mover. And then there was Turn was a solid day 2, day 3 mover. I've shared NNE and other charts on the Twitter. That was a good mover. So we'll talk about few of those and see how that panned out, right? We'll talk about place as well. And then also we provide all the daily lists for everything. We provide a list for crypto. You can trade the coin and MSTR. I love coin. Coin was nicely moving today. I love it for swing, and MSTR as well. In addition to that, we provide the watch list for the low floats. There was a trade on TON and ON, which was in the morning, but nothing else apart from the low floats later in the day. And it was just a short once it broke 512s, so it's a risky, it's for advanced traders. But anyways, this is everything we provide in the morning, so everybody's ready. And we do have in our community, we do have our scanners, screen. So I'm usually on voice first few hours of the market open, and we have all of our screen shares, all of our option flow, breaking news, stock scanner, 5-6 scanners, book map, support and resistance alerts, everything going on in our community. Over 1,000+ traders on the trading floor, sharing trade ideas and discussing. and I'm on voice guiding everybody through the community and what trades I like and what I'm looking at. And so anyways, and I will show you my timestamp guidance, and we'll see what was our pre-market game plan and how the things panned out, and we'll see how we traded or navigated today. Let's start. So another very bullish day on SPY, but initially it was chop, but once it completely pushed over yesterday's highs and today's pre-market highs, it continued to push, right? So that was on SPY today, and then we had similar thing on QQQ. But I'm just gonna firstly talk about the SPY flush in the morning. And it was just an amateur move. First 20 minutes you could make money on the puts. So let's look at these two candles, right? Let me just widen this up here, right? So you see that. So what was happening this morning was, if I look at VIX, we had our plan. So what was our plan? So our plan was that if VIX, let me see if I can find it here. So if VIX, and I haven't tweeted about it, today's the bias is all about VIX 18, right? So the plan was that if VIX goes over 18, there's the plan. If VIX goes over 18, market can profit take flush. VIX under 17, 70 or 18, market can bounce, right? So that was our simple plan. So when we started the day, when was I on the voice this morning, I was not really feeling comfortable to go long on the market. I was not feeling real comfortable. On the SPY side, I was feeling that VIX is strong. I sent a caution today, and I haven't tweeted about this. A lot of traders did, let's see. So you can see that even on the Twitter, I posted about VIX use 18 for the buys today. Over 18 markets can have some stress, right? So that's why a little cautious in the morning when VIX was trying to push. You see this candle right here. So that was the short that you could take at the open. That I was on the voice, I said you can scalp short if you want to, but there's definitely no long. And I did take about profit taking. I told everybody in the pre-market that we can have some profit taking, right? You can see that profit taking, be patient. So that was the short scalp you could do. And after that, by 10 a.m. it was holding the support, right? So we talk about our 10 a.m. concept, because if you're short here, you should not magically expect that we will keep fading and just add the puts here and expect it to fade, because VIX is rejecting back under 18 and we are bouncing again. So there is no reason to be just stay biased. You short at open, cover proactively. You have 20 minutes. You give 20 minutes to cover your short, and from 555s to 553s, and you get out, right? So that was the morning short on SPY. Yeah, and after that, I want to talk about the so let me talk about that. I'll go to the midday later, but let's talk about this QQQ. So what was happening on QQQ? So QQQ was trying to break out, right? So essentially you should long here on the clouds, but you can try long smaller size on the pre-market high breakout. So I was thinking that we're gonna get this breakout on QQQs, but they pulled back right into the chop. Goes up, pulls back, goes up, pulls back, goes up, pulls back, goes up. So when you're trying to trade here, so that's what we were trying to trade long, it was not worth it, especially if you're trading 0 DTE. They're losing the values. It's losing the values. They are losing the value. So we tried to break out long here, and when it pulled back to the clouds, even though it was over the clouds, we were losing a lot of money. So we just decided to close it and close that trade and then just sit on hands, right? That's what I told everybody, just sit on the hands, right? It's no reason, right? Other reason, the Apple was weak in the morning, so that's why the market was weak as well. You can see that Apple was as well morning short along with SPY, so I didn't discuss that. But anyway, so we failed this morning long. So this is what we failed, this is what didn't work in the right here. So now you understand that why it didn't work. What was VIX doing? Apple was weak and we were just in a chop range. Semiconductors were stuck. And I did some polls on that in the community, that why are our market long trades not working? Because after the amateur move, the market is stuck between pre-market highs and low. There is no trend confirmation. And after a big move, a trend is possible. A chop is possible. So that's what was happening. Morning short and then chop. But let's talk about the breakout longs now. But just because we were choppy in the morning doesn't mean we can't find the trend later in the day, right? So later in the day, so I'm on the live screen, I always draw my trend lines. I had, even though we started to push, so that's fine, we start to push. So that's why I talk about that you need to learn to draw your trend line. So let me show you, right? So that is fine, we were choppy, we were sitting on our hands, nothing to do, and it was going up, it was flushing down, going up, we lost a bit of money trying to trade long, just then we left it alone. Then this happens, right? Okay, hold on. So market was coming up, I had already started to draw my trend lines, you can see that, right? I started to draw it, and once it was going, I extended my down trend lines, right? I extended my trend line. So you see that, so you have to start drawing the trend lines, because trend line can tell you if the stock is about to make a big move. This is a trend line breakout. Yes, it can break out, you can long here, and it can push to pre-market highs, but it still will be in the chop range. So you will be proactive to take your profits if you long right here versus 55 into this pre-market highs, right? So that's the today's lesson that I'm trying to cover. And of course, I was not trading this, but a lot of traders in the community nailed this. So let's see, because you see, let me see here. And other thing is the VIX. As soon as VIX broke this, that's it. All day VIX was holding, so that's why we were chopping. But when VIX is breaking down here, it's a time that you can trade that, right? So there was a time when, let's look here. So yeah, so QQQ was doing that. Let me see, I'm trying to find if there was an alert on QQQ. So Q was going up, was down, it was choppy. It was all choppy, and that time we were just sitting on the hands. But later in the day, right here, the QQQ, SPY and QQQ started to go. And then came the SPY pre-market high breakout. You see, there should be an alert here. So if you are drawing trend line right here, you can long this, because you see the chop, it's getting out of the chop, it's a contraction happening here, contraction. Remember these chart patterns, I cover these chart patterns a lot in my options, Ripster education as well. I cover these chart patterns, they're very important. We're getting tight. So this is the first long signal, not here, and VIX is breaking down, and then when pre-market highs break out, it's a breakout. That's when you go out of the chop. That's when it becomes a long, right? If you missed a long here, then you can only take a small size here, because you are not waiting for the pullback. So you can just take 1/3, 1/2 size, or you can trade something else long that's market dependent on that, right? So a lot of traders, were long this in the community. This is the beauty. I'm not just saying this and saying that just to say that. A lot of traders in the community were actually long when this breakout were happening, right? So that was the beauty of the today's trade. So the proud thing is the traders are actually executing these setups, right? You see this execution actually changing people, bringing in the confidence in people. So ask the community like who was trading that. So you can see that how everybody was trading, right? There was Mitsu, Slaughter, Sanju, Govind, Charles, Cole, Ryan, Trojan, Matthew. Everybody's trading on their own, right? They know the system. Yes, I try to my live screens are up there, but the thing is, people are executing and making money, right? We were not making money in the morning, but we did make money on this breakouts, right? People, this breakout, a lot of somebody traded SPX call, somebody traded QQQQ, somebody traded Amazon that bounce. So we will talk about that, right? Teresa did her first long there. So this is the repeatable system and repeatable setup, because if you as a professional trader or if you're a full-time trader, you need to identify these opportunities, and you need to identify that this is not the time, and it's not an automatic, it's gonna come with your experience, right? This breakout is gonna come with your experience that this is the right time. Because you can't get frustrated if you're losing long here on other stocks, Apple, Amazon. That's fine. We know this. And I continuously talked about this in the morning, that we can find a trend from the chop. But till then, save. If you are red, save. Don't do any compulsive orders, compulsive trades. But when the opportunity arises, you execute. Right, so we were trying to long in the morning. We lost on few plays. We'll talk about Amazon loser as well. But later in the day, there was a nice push, right? So, anyways, let's go to the next one. So let's talk about, since we're talking about that, we're going to talk about morning loser that we had on Amazon. Could have held it, but the risk was a little wide because we were trying to trade the morning breakout. Let's see here if I expand it. So you can see that Amazon, whatever levels on Amazon, let's go over daily list. Amazon level 184, 183.50 were the support levels. So, it never really broke that 183.50. So I want you to see that how the level that I gave, it kept bouncing over that, right? So you see that Amazon kept bouncing over 183.50 right from that support. I didn't make the support afterwards. These support were made, my team makes them or I make them, and in the pre-market. And you can see that it didn't really break that pivot. So it didn't even break the breakout pivot either. There was a breakout at 185.35. That's why we're trying to long it. But then market started to pull back. I just showed you the QQQ pullback. Right, so I exited, then it started to bounce. We entered again, but then it broke 34.50. So, I could have held it. It's not a big deal, but it was $1. I know the 183.50 was support, but just there was no trend. So there was no trend. So in the morning we were losing here. We lost here, but you see, I even tried to add it back in the long, but it was still in the chop, right? We still lost on that. A lot of traders held, a lot of the traders still held because they used this risk 183.50, and then we started to see Amazon flow. I will show you that what flow we were talking about. Let's see if I can show you that. Yeah, so you see that 1238. So there's two setups, right? Downtrend line, 34.50 breakout, and the calls started to flow in. So calls started to flow in right here. Push from the flow, higher from the flow. Market is breaking out. QQQ is breaking out. Amazon is a midday long winner, right? Repeatable setup again. It didn't work in the morning, that's fine, but you could trade with this breakout, and I did mention the call flow. That gives you an added conviction. There's flow, there's a 34.50 call, market is pushing, check. That makes the midday setup long a good one, right? So that was our recap of midday, and I was very happy to see a lot of traders who made money on the Amazon end of the day, even though we lost in the morning. It was my personal trade in the morning, but finally recovered. Right, so we were having tough time with Amazon in the morning, but later in the day, we got it. Honit did it really well on that. Raj, Raimo, Mitsu, a lot of traders came back. Honit did 130% on the Amazon. So that was a good one. So, but anyways, we could have easily chopped all day and we could have not made that money back. That's fine. But we did get the setup, so you need to remember that setup very well. All right, next we're going to discuss NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, just like I told you, we have so many option scanners which are always running in our community. So NVIDIA, let's see, we were long on NVIDIA right out of the gate because the flow was coming in. Here is the flow. So you see that NVIDIA flow, right? This is on our screen share, which is a free screen share. But this is our in partnership with Ghost Options, which provides this AI flow. You can subscribe to him. Really good flow. But remember how to use the flow, right? I use the flow when the flow is the same side of the trend, not against it. And I like this. It's a AI-based options flow, which only picks certain kind of longs, and it surprisingly works pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. So yeah, give them a try. But anyways, you could see the NVIDIA flow right at the open. It was right on our screens, and that's what I mentioned. So you see me mentioning NVIDIA flow on the voice as well right here. See, lot of flow over the bullish clouds long. Although it kind of pulled back, so we were kind of avoiding it because QQQ was not breaking. But then NVIDIA again held relative strength and started to push. The option flows that were alerted in the morning, they started to work out. And NVIDIA broke out. You see this nice breakout. There it goes. And then there was, I gave 120 target, and there was a 120 seller. And that seller, when 120 seller cleared, it pulled back, but it held again so strong. This one, yeah. So it pulled from 120 seller, but tried the 120 seller again. Then it pulled back again to 3450. It never broke 3450. Remember, when 512 and 3450 together, you can always use that risk. And when QQQ is running, NVIDIA is going to run. It's going to pay you. And but this was the main run in the morning. So it was definitely little wicky. But here's the thing: it never really broke. They never really broke the support zone. If we are getting out there, that's up on us, right? Because we are trying to manage our risk proactively, but it really didn't break the final risk levels, right? So we had that on NVIDIA were 116, 115, right? We were right there, 116, 115. 115 was too far, but we never really broke this 116 range. So anyways, nice long for NVIDIA. Many people in the community, I know they love NVIDIA. So shout out to the option flow, and was a good long winner. You can see how much this flow went, 200%, the 120C. So that's pretty good job. Well done, Ghost. Tesla, Tesla was a long this morning in the community. But it was just the long right at the open, and then it went into the chop, right? Just was the opening long was, if I go to like 3-minute candle, you can see that what it was doing, right? It ran from 225 all the way to 231. So that's more than enough move to make money off, because what were our Tesla triggers? Tesla triggers were 227, 228. And there's support at 225, and then what happens was it's right away pushed out of those levels, right away pushed out over 226 levels, even this level, right? So still there was a good chance to scalp that move long, and I think there was a lot of flow on Tesla as well. And did Tesla pull to 231? It had a relative strength in the morning. A lot of flow was coming in, so it was a decent morning long. And after that, just chop up down, crazy candles, right? If you look at 10 minutes, you will see. So you have to trade according to their candles, but this was really crazy. Chop. So this was a chop that was frustrating in the morning, so this is what frustrated a lot of traders, because up down, even though it's holding, then we have to cut rest of it when 512 broke. So there's only trade was this, the first long, and then after the chop. Now it was a fabulous day for the news plays that we're going to discuss now. Let's start with the first one. The first news play we're going to discuss is Netgear, all the modems and routers you use. So let's look at Netgear. What was the Netgear doing this morning? So Netgear was a decent play. So let's look at our pre-market plan on Netgear and see what we had a plan. So here you go. So Netgear, gap fill under 19. So 19 was a gap fill, 20 was the upside pivot. So what happened? Gap fill never came. The pivot held, clouds held. So moment it starts to push here, I know it's my long and I can risk here. I can start long at 1970, whatever, but then I have to risk like 50 cents, or in bigger risk will be $1, that's too much. But right away it triggered long. Simple setup. Long versus 19, 20, 21 is the breakout. That's what I told everyone. And then let's see what it did. I can go to maybe I can show you the 2-minute candle. See the morning trade, you can see better. So right away it started to push, and then it pushed, broke out of 21.45s. Then it pulled back. It was flagging, held the flags, pulled back versus 20, that's where you can add as well, and then it flagged, and then it pushed back over 21.41. It didn't really have too much range, but it's easily, you could scalp 40-50 cents, risking probably 30-50 cents. So it was not the best of the trades, but it was a decent trade for small accounts, right? So a lot of traders were trying to trade it, and then finally it broke that. It's ATR was just 57 cents. So that's the other problem. When the ATR is just too small, that's not a big trade. It's always going to move slow range. It's not going to go too down. Your risk is not too much. It's not going to go too much up. So it's all about the ATR. So that's why it trades so slow, because of the big ATR, big float. All right, let's talk about next one. Next one is ALK. ALK was our Alaska Airlines. Alaska Airline, the plan on Alaska Airline was, let's look here, where was our plan? Alaska Airlines, no volume in pre, but the support is 40-40. 40-40, what happens? It breaks the support right away. I talk about ALK. ALK is a gap fill short. Watch the bounces. I told that everyone right at the open. And what ALK did after that was it kept on fading after I mentioned, and it faded to 39.10. So you could make like $1 short on that on ALK. So that was ALK. So you saw the pre-market guidance, show my initial guidance on that. So MRNA was one of the good plays today, and I had highlighted in the pre-market as well, because I know MRNA makes big moves, big range moves. So let's look at it. So like initial plan on MRNA was simple. Here you go, Moderna shares drop after cutting research budget. 68.80 is the support. Short the pops to the cloud. So we never got the pops, right? We never got the pops, but it started to fade right away. And that's what I said, short from the game plan, right? And after I said that, MRNA on the voice, MRNA did fade from open from 67 to 64. You could scalp like $2, $2. But when you see it's not making any more lows at 10 a.m., then, by 10 a.m., then you have to exit. When you see this, you make this range, even though it's under 512, you have to exit your shorts, even though technically it never covered 512s. But if your entry is bad, you will lose a lot of money by the time it goes over 512s. So anyways, that was not the trade. Middle of the day, we had initial curls. This failed. We didn't really do anything. Then I watched it try to curl again. Right here. So let's see if I can find that MRNA. So that curl, was because reason was MRNA was down so much. Bigger the range, better the chances to play the calls. Bigger the range, better is the call setup. And it was also showing a kind of a cup and handle to me, not a perfect one, but you could see that. And we had this higher lows. So this was the reason I was liking it. And I was on the voice. I told everybody that we can probably take this trade. And, I personally also traded that. And, we talked about MRNA curl. And then I sent out some alerts on the second curl. And you can see that it pushed. And I gave the target of 70, I think. Yeah, room to 68. Then I gave the target to 70. MRNA pushed. And, I did. Yeah, here you go. I had few. It was going, it was under, then it started to go again. So the second curl is much better, because you see higher lows. So that makes me, more confident. Even if you lost in the first curl, that's fine. Let's say you long 66.80s, you cut 66, you lose 80 cents, but you get back 66.40s, and this time you make $4 or $5. So that's how, you trade those curl setups, right? That's how you do it. So beautiful trade there on MRNA on the long side. I just wanted to show my order fills. Okay, I don't have it broker open. I would have shown you, but this was a nice little trade here. And one thing to note, what I noted today was that I even shared in the Twitter, that there was a better signals if I excluded the pre-market. I always use pre-market, but in this case, this is a better signal. We didn't even need to, we never got the first signal, but the second signal was a beautiful gap fill trade, right? That's a gap fill on 10 a.m. and then it continued to push toward the target. 70 was my target. Look here, beauty. So clean. Ripster 512 repeatable system. That's what it's all about, right? Repeatable system that people use. I love it. A lot of people using the system. A lot of followers. Neil did really good with MTF long. Nobody has the repeatable systems like I teach, guys. It's not about saying, hey, I'm the best. No. It's about saying that do not trade random. There are thousands of traders who trade random out there or looking for gurus, for alerts, for signals. You don't need that. You need a system that you can trade on your own without anybody. Thousands of traders have learned from me. They do their own thing. Thousands of traders have learned, and they run their own communities, right? um, it's they are, that's about it. It's repeatable. I show you these trades which look like magic, but it is, you just need to execute. So MRNA is just one other example of that trade, and it hit all the targets. I sent another alert that MRNA crossing 70, hold the runners. You look here, and even when I said that, it's it's still pushed to 71 area, right? So then we exited like 69 because 3450 breaks, but that was a beautiful long winner. Beautiful. That was actually the one trade that made my day nice. Marna, my personal day nice on Marna. Otherwise I was like having a rough day. All right, video is running a little longer. I'm going to go fast. So SIG was a trade in the morning. We were watching it to short as well. Right here, what was the game plan on SIG? The game plan SIG was on simple, cautious of 512 pullbacks. Cautious, right? So 90 was the breakout, 87 was the support. And you see it tried to break, and we were watching it for short, but it reclaimed. That's when I said it's a long now. You see, it's a long now. So you long it, your stops right here, and you long it to 93.21. That's fine. And you long it, and then you step away. When it breaks 512 right there. And I did talk about SIG short, 512 short, right? And you see RGV, great guidance on RGV on SIG. He added the 512 dips. Beautiful guidance, man. Love it. So RGV was there, and then he traded the SIG from the lows to the longs, just like how I was guiding in my feed and RG was guiding on trading floor. And then there was a short, 512 short from 90, easy, stress-free. If your stops are the last candle, you can make money on the long side. You could make, even if you risk like 500 shares, you could have easily made 12-1300 up, and you could have easily made 12-1300 down. Easily risking 500 each, you could have made like 2.5 grand today on this trade. All right, there are some other trades in the community. Let's look at AMAT. AMAT was a short right off the gate. What was the game plan on AMAT? Game plan on AMAT was neutral buy, short if clouds break. So AMT clouds break, you short it in the morning for nice $1 or $2, $3. Beautiful winner from the game plan. I think I did mention it as well, because sometimes I don't see the things in time, but you need to decide what you need to trade. I did mention it AMAT short as well. So there was some other winners as well. SMMT was a nice winner on the community long. What was the game plan? Game plan was bullish bias versus pullback to the clouds. Bullish bias versus pullback to the cloud. 25 was the breakout. You can read it here, right? So what did SMMT do? Broke out of 25 right away. That's where you take long. Your stops low of the candle. You trade it long, make $2-3, done for the day, move to the next one. Other one was GDXU. So this is especially for Vinod. He put this gold because gold is all-time highs and beautiful setup, and he put it there. What was gold doing? You can see that gold, I can go to the gold futures to show you that. And this is another repeatable setup, all-time highs consolidation. So this was the setup, right? So this was the setup. You can hide this thing. If I hide this was the setup. And then boom. That's why we had it in the watch list, right? Gold all-time highs. We were running a little late, so I couldn't put too much on that in the game plan. But there's a reason I highlighted it, right? Reason I highlighted it golden, right? Golden. So anyways, golden was all day was going, a lot of opportunity. It's simple. Anything over the clouds, it's a long. You just have to find an entry, and it's over the MTF clouds. You can clearly see that gold miner, because gold is all-time highs. Gold miner is not at all-time highs, but it still will go with the gold. And gold miners, GDX, GDXU, you can trade anyone, either of those gold miners, and they were decent. Even if you scalped gold miner from here, went from 38 to 38.90, 39.43, easy peasy, beautiful trade. GDXU with the system, very nice. I love the opportunities we have in the community. Then we had some little more as well. We had MELI. So MELI was a decent mover for us as well. In the I was not focused on it, but you can see MELI, the breakout 2050 psychological number. The plan on MELI was bullish bias to long, daily breakout. What did I say? Daily breakout. What does that mean? Look on the daily chart. This is what I mean. Daily breakout. Daily breakout. So this is what I mean, guys. These are the setups. So I'm going to start looking more for these technical setups as market improves. Where's my box, man? Come on, I'm just trying to find my box so that I can show you guys. Yeah. So this is the breakout, guys. This is the breakout. I just showed you the gold breakout, and this was the MELI breakout. So it was a no-brainer long. That's why I mentioned in the pre-market bullish bias to long daily breakout. Daily breakout. So what did MELI do? MELI ran out of the gate from 2060 to 2142 easily. Even if you have 10 shares, who cares? You know, even after you take this 250, I gave you the level of 250. You hold that level, trade it long. Options are illiquid, but you can easily make money. If you have 100 shares, right? You know, you can make on $10 move, you can make $1,000. $100 move, you'll make a 10,000 bucks. And if you have 10 shares, you'll $100 move, you still make 1,000 bucks. So these are kind of trades you need to do. So anyways, let's go to the next one. I'm going to quickly discuss few day 2, day 3 setups right now. Let's talk. There was two winners today on day 2, day 3 setups. There was FSLR and there was Zscaler, right? Let's look at Zscaler. So you see Zscaler day 2. What was my day 2 levels? Right here. 162, 163, 14, and I'm not going to spend too much time, but you can see that Zscaler had this gap, right? Gap. It's a day 2 setup and it has a gap. It's a beautiful mover, beautiful long winner, right? I teach these day 2 setups many times. And FSLR, another day 2 setup. Why? Number 1 day 2 setup because it ran a lot yesterday. Today it breaks cloud. It's a short right away. Nice short from 236 to 230.28. It was a morning long short trade. It was also another guidance by RGV on the floor. Beautifully done. And those were two of the day 2 setups today. Zscaler and FSLR, very nice trade today in the community. And let's look. There was another one. I think there was NNE. I have been talking about. I've been tweeting about NNE. I love this name for a swing. I love this sector. I tweeted about it yesterday, and it was also a day 2 long. You can see my tweet that I've been talking about NNE. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if it's yeah. By the way, I talk about this trend line, guys. You have to draw these trend lines, what I teach again and again. Look. So that's how you find those trend to chop. So yeah, I was trying to find that NNE, that idea that I gave yesterday. Was very, very solid. See if I can find it to show you guys. Yeah, right here. You see that? So I've been talking about NNE for a long time. I like this downtrend line. I have been talking it since it was $9. A lot of traders have been trading in NNE. It was a beautiful move. You can see that NNE will also do good day 2, day 3 trade as well. All right, let's wrap up with CVNA. So CVNA was also on our game plan today. The game plan on CVNA was simple. The game plan was, I highlighted it, long over the clouds. And what happens? CVNA pulls back to the clouds. Look here, MTF and 3450, and there we go. Great business on the floor today on CVNA all day by D trades. Very proud of D trade guidance on CVNA, on the community guidance. I love the traders who guide others, and because I can't look at, I have thousands of traders that I have to attend to. Sometimes I'm not looking at a lot of those setups, but the traders in the community look at those setups and they execute it. That's the beauty of it. Look at the CVNA, such an easy setup. You avoid long, let it pull back. When the market bounces, you long it, your risk is defined, and you just hold it. You make $5-6 on it. That's the beauty of that CVNA MTF cloud play. I wanted to discuss some of our swings. I don't have time. It's going to 40 minutes video right now. SOXL, which is a nice winner so far. I alerted for on the Twitter as well. Google has I alerted it yesterday. We're already up nicely, still holding it. SMCI, we bought it at 400. It's moving nicely. So a lot of our swings are moving nicely. Wanted to cover a lot, but that's it for today. Thanks, guys. Tomorrow, Lotto Friday is going to be super fun. Join us. Take care. Bye bye.